Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Andy and I hope you are doing very well today. So today I thought it will be cool for me to revisit my 2023 language goals video that I did many months ago. And talk about the things that I was able to accomplish and the things that I didn't. A lot changed, I can say that already, from those goals that I had in that video from now. It's currently December 8th, so we still have a little bit of time till the actual end of the year, but I thought this will be a good time to make that video. So I have it in front of me, the goals that I wrote. I remember them, but I didn't want to forget anything. So in that video, I talked about my goals for two languages that I was studying at the time, French and Swedish. And I remember that I was really excited about them. I was excited to accomplish them and everything, and I was really thoughtful about what I wrote it down as an actual goal. Now, like I said, things changed. There were some big changes and some small changes, and I'm gonna go into detail right now. So let's start with French. French, I had 6 goals. I think I had 6 goals for both. And I just want to go through them and see like where I'm at, what I was able to do and the things that I wasn't. So let's go. Okay, so the first thing that I wrote it down as a goal for my French learning in 2023 was start thinking in French. Now, I have to say, I do not feel like I am at a point where I am thinking in the language yet, and I wrote this down, I think, because I wanted to really try it and like have moments where I'm like, no, I'm gonna I'm gonna really try to think it in the language right now. But looking back, it's kind of hard to pinpoint the exact moment that you start thinking in a language. Like, I cannot tell you when I started thinking in English, and I think in English all the time, even though it's my second language. But I cannot tell you like, oh, this year or at this point, that's when I started. I really can't. So I think I kind of set myself up for failure with that one. I do think we can, I don't know, there's some like exercises and some like things that we can use to practice to try making it more natural, I guess, to think in a certain language that you're learning. But yeah, I don't think you can really measure that. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't know. So that one, I would say it wasn't really a success. So we're off to a good start. The second one that I put it down, now this is one of the goals that changed, was read 10 books in French. So I think I was being a little bit ambitious with this goal when I set myself to read 10 books in French. I have not read 10 books. It's like I said December 8th, so not much time left. However, a few months ago, I actually went through these goals, and I was trying to think what I could change, and this was the one that I did change. So I changed the number 10 to 5. So my goal now is actually read 5 books in French, and I do think this will be a success. I am finishing reading my 4th one, and I do believe that to the end of the year I can read another. I've been mostly focusing on short stories, because that's another thing that was a bit hard with this specific goal, is that I don't have the easiest access to French books, whether it's novels or short stories or anything. So I really have to rely, I mean like physical copies. So I really have to rely on online things. Buying books in any foreign language, at least here in Brazil, it's really expensive. I cannot just go around and just buy all the books I wanted. I wish. There's a dog barking. Hi. He's barking at my window. Great, he wants to participate in the video. It's a friendly dog. Yeah, so I really have to rely on online resources. So I have found now I have more options. I just found this like Canadian open library, and they have a lot of short stories in French, and you can and it's like legal to like go and download them and everything. So I feel like when I wrote this down, I didn't really had many options, many resources to find anything written in French. So it took me a while to have a bigger variety of resources, and I feel like I have that now. So that's why a few months ago I shortened the amount of books to 5. So this technically changed. It's read 5 books now in French, and I'm gonna say that this was a success, even though I haven't read the 5th yet, but I can do it. I know we'll do it. So first success, yay! The third one was, I'm laughing because this was such a fail. The third one was write every week. I don't know why I put it every week. I don't know why I did that. Again, it's too ambitious, but it's fine. We live and we learn. I definitely did not do this. I gotta be honest, writing amongst the 4 abilities that we have when it comes to languages, listening, speaking, reading, and writing. Writing is the one that it's hard for me to really practice. Even in English, it took me a long time to start feeling confident in writing in English, because it's it's an active ability, because we have the passive ones, actives, whatever. I'm not gonna get into that, but you really have to, if you're not in a school where you have to do that, it's hard to keep track of it, at least for me. So it's been hard. However, I'm gonna give myself some credit here, because in this last month, I think, I actually kind of made other sort of side goals specific for French, and I took this little notebook. I don't have it here with me, but anyways, where I set myself to write little short phrases or short things in this book. I'm not explaining this very well. Each night before I went to sleep, and I actually have been writing more. So did I write every week? No, I definitely, again, set myself up for failure with that every week part. But I have written more in French this year than any year ever since I started learning the language. And that's what was something that I really wanted to do, was to write more and start practicing more. So I would say that it was like a half-half. I definitely did not write every week, but I did write more, and that's success in my book. But this specific goal, I guess, it wasn't it wasn't really successful. Oh, I also should mention this. Maybe this is just me trying to make excuses for myself, but I did change my organization when it comes to my language learning process this year. I'll talk about it more when I get to the Swedish portion of this video. So for now, let's move on. So the 4th goal was make a video entirely in French, and I have done it, and I'm really happy that I did this, because I was really nervous to do this. I was like, oh my gosh, can I do it? I don't know. But I did it. I have a book? No. I have a video on my channel. I'm gonna link somewhere up where I talked about The Little Prince. Reading The Little Prince for the first time. It's a really short video, but I did it entirely in French. I put the English subtitles. It took me a long time to make it, but it's there. So if you want to check it out, if you want to see me stumbling my way through French, you can do that. But I'm actually happy with myself on that one. I'm proud of myself for doing that. And I think the video came out okay. Like, I was really nervous, but I think once I stopped overthinking it, I was able to do it. So I'm happy about that one. So that was a success. I'm looking at the last two and it's not looking good for me. Okay, so the fifth one, apparently this is the fifth one. The fifth one was update my French playlist. So I did say in that video that I had a French playlist and I wanted to update it because I started doing this, making this playlist when I started learning French, because it was one of the first things I did was to try to find music and artists that I could listen to and everything, because I love music. Music is a big part of my life. So I was like, hey, let me start through this. But it sat there without me updating it or even listening to it for a long time. So I did go through this playlist this year and I kind of cleaned up a little bit because it was really messy. There's a lot of songs that I couldn't even remember why they were there. So I did some cleaning. But to be completely honest, I haven't touched that playlist in months. So is this a success? I don't know, because my idea was, and it's connected to the last goal as well, my idea was to listen to it more and find other like artists and everything and really get into them, but that didn't happen and I'm sad about that because I still really want to do that. And yeah, like I said, it connects perfectly to the last French goal, which was discover new artists. Did I do that? Absolutely not. Like I said, I haven't touched that playlist in a long time. Oh my gosh, I haven't even thought about it for a long time. I have so many playlists. I'm that person. I'm becoming that person who makes playlists for everything. So yeah, so those two I would say was kind of a fail. So at the end, I guess I succeeded in 3, reading 5 books because I changed it from 10 to 5. Then I'm writing more, even though I didn't write every week, and then make the video in French. I'm gonna give myself 3 out of 6, which, you know, half. So I guess that's not a complete failure, right? That's what I'm telling myself. No, but for real though, I have never before, ever since I started learning French a few years ago, I had never done this, like set goals and everything for myself, because I was really afraid of not meeting my goals and then getting really frustrated and sad and down and everything. So I was just like, I don't know if I should do that. But after I started watching a lot more content, language learning content on YouTube, which was also what prompted me and made me inspire me to start making videos about it as well. Those videos where people were talking about their goals and everything, really, they seemed really fun and inspiring, and it definitely inspired me to do this as well. And I do think it helped me because I do need some sort of organization. I feel like everybody does, especially when we do this by ourselves. If you're learning anything by yourself, you need some sort of goal or list or some sort of organization. So this helped me, even though I wasn't successful in all of them. I'm not really disappointed, to be honest. I'm okay with it. Yeah, especially with the reading one, even though I had to change it halfway through. And I think that's important too with goals. It's to know when you were too ambitious with it, and maybe try to adapt to, I don't know, your new routine or whatever. So I'm happy I did that, instead of me trying to rush it and read a bunch of things just to get to that 10. It's not like set in stone. This is just a guide. At least that's how I was viewing this. So yeah, overall I think I did good. And I definitely think I will, actually, I don't know, I was gonna say I definitely think I will do the same for next year, but if I do, I definitely want to set goals and everything, but I want to maybe organize it differently. So yeah, that was for French. Now now let's go to Swedish. Okay, so it's kind of a sore spot right now. So I also, oh no, I did 7. That is upsetting somehow for me. Why didn't I stick with 6 as well? So before I go into explaining the whole situation with Swedish right now, I'm just gonna read through what the goals were. So the first one that I did for Swedish was finish my Duolingo course, and I wrote here that I was halfway through it when I wrote this down. Then finish this YouTube playlist that I had from when I started. Like, I piled a bunch of videos that I thought were interesting about Swedish, and I wanted to finish it. Then read 5 books in Swedish. I gotta laugh. That's a laugh and a half. Then write every month, or try at least make a video in Swedish if I can. Update my Swedish playlist, same thing with French, and then discover new artists. So those were the goals for Swedish. Now, why am I going through it so fast and not really talking about it? This is the moment of truth. I actually, a few months ago, I made the decision to take Swedish out of my language learning list. I phrased that really weird. Yeah, I just decided to take Swedish out of the equation. I'm sorry, Swedish. So this part of the video is more me explaining why and what happened, because since I've made that decision a few months ago, I don't think there's any point in me going through what I was able to achieve or not, since I decided to, you know, not actively study the language anymore. So Swedish, from the beginning, since I started learning Swedish was always kind of in the background for me. It was kind of like a secondary language, because I picked Swedish up after I was learning French for a few years. And when I did this, it was right at the moment where I felt like I was really improving with my French. I went from a basic level to an intermediate level, and that took me a while. Yeah, because there was a period of time where I was kind of stagnant with French for a while, and then like 2021-ish, 2022, that's when I really picked it up. And then that's when I started, end of 2021, that's when I said that I was gonna study Swedish. And ever since, I've never really put Swedish at the forefront, and I do think I suffer a little bit from that, my interest in the language and my learning journey and everything, you know. So a few months ago, I watched this video from, I'm gonna say her name wrong, oh my gosh, Lindy. It's Lindy Boats. I'm so sorry if I'm saying her last name wrong. But if you live in the language learning part of YouTube, you're either subscribed to her or you came across one of her videos. She has a really good channel and she learns a lot of languages as well. And I came across this video of hers where she was organizing her language learning process for 2023. I watched it a few months late, already into the year. But the way she did it, I thought it was really interesting. So what she did was, she basically picked languages to be the focus point in each month. So for example, January, this language is going to be the focus, and then this other one's gonna be secondary, and then February we switch. This language now is going to be the focus, and the other one's gonna be the secondary, kind of like that. So I decided to try that, and that's what I was talking about before when I was talking about the French goals, that I kind of changed my organization when it came to languages. This year was when I did that. I was like, I'm getting too lost. I was losing track of these two languages I was studying, and it was starting to become overwhelming. And then I was just procrastinating, and I felt really frustrated with it. So I was like, okay, I need to find a better way to organize it. And I really liked her format, what she was doing. So I was like, you know what? Let me try it. So that's what I did. I wrote the remaining months of the year, and then I put there like, I don't know, July, French is going to be the focus, and Swedish is a secondary language. And then August, I'm going to switch. Now Swedish is the focus point, and then French is going to be on the background. Still studying both, but the focus one, it's the focus, so I'm going to spend more time on that one. I did that, I think, really well. And there was a month when Swedish came up as the focus language, I was going at it. I was really like remembering a lot of vocabulary that I have forgotten. I was learning how to read like better in Swedish, learning a little bit of grammar, which is always kind of like scary to me because I'm not the biggest fan of grammar, to be honest. However, even with that, I could feel that I was kind of forcing myself to keep studying the language. Now, don't get me wrong, there are moments in any learning process, especially with languages, where you gotta have patience. You're gonna get frustrated, you're gonna get lazy, or you're gonna procrastinate, and that's why it's important to keep sight of your goals and really focus on like your habits when it comes to learning and studying, to not lose sight of that. So that is very normal. So even if you are studying something, don't think that at the first moment of frustration or the first moment where you're feeling a bit unmotivated, that means that is a sign that you should drop it. That's not what it is at all. However, this was a bit different. I was like, okay, maybe I need to stop and think better about this. And I did some thinking, and I realized that I was really kind of forcing myself to learn this language that my heart wasn't really in it. And at the end of the day, I study languages because I love to learn about new cultures, and I love to learn new sounds and how to have access to different literature and just learn. I love learning languages specifically, but this is not an obligation, you know what I mean? And I don't want it to feel like an obligation in a sense of, no, you have to do this because for whatever reason. So yeah, that's why I decided to drop Swedish for now. So as for now, I am not learning Swedish anymore. I thought I was gonna be more frustrated with myself and more like really disappointed with myself if I ever got to that point. When I decided to learn two languages together, right? French and Swedish. I was like, oh, what if one day I'm like, oh, I need to drop one? I'd probably feel horrible and everything and really, I don't know, down on myself. But I didn't really. I think it's because, like I said, at the end of the day, I don't want this to feel like a chore. I don't want it to feel like an obligation. So I decided to drop it. And I don't know, maybe in the future I'll pick it up again. That's totally okay. That's totally in the cards. But for now, Swedish is not on my list anymore, unfortunately. But still, I don't regret the time that I spent learning the language at all, because I'm of the opinion that knowledge is really important and it's never a waste of time, or a waste of energy. Because some people might see like, oh, you spent almost 2 years learning this language and now you dropped it. It was for nothing. It was wasted time. I don't really see it like that whatsoever. I still think it's very cool, all of the, especially culturally speaking, all the things that I got to learn about the Nordic countries and everything, things that I had no clue about before. So that to me, it's very special, and it's not something I'll ever regret it. So yeah, but for now, I'm parting ways with Swedish. That sounds so dramatic. I was trying to make it like poetic, and it's just like it did not work. Anyways, but yeah, I am currently learning another language though, because I was like, hey, I can still learn 2 languages at the same time, can't I? Let's see. So I wanted to make a video and like document it from the beginning, but I was like, you know what? I don't want to set myself up for failure this time. Let me just breathe. Let me just ease into this language, because it's been a challenge, but I also wanted to see if I would still be interested in it after a while. So I haven't really talked about it, but I am learning another language. So I'm still learning 2 languages, and I will be making videos about that probably next year. But yeah, but French lives in my heart always. And this is what makes me think that my decision of dropping Swedish for now is really for the best. It's because even with all my trials and errors with French, and for those moments where I felt very stagnant in a language or whatever, I never had that feeling of like, oh, I want to drop it. I don't want to learn this anymore. So that was also what clued me into like, oh, maybe it's time for Swedish to go. But yeah, and I also think that the same way that you don't need this grand, huge reasoning to start learning a language, I don't think you need a grand, dramatic reason for you to drop one either. You know, like I said, at the end of the day, I'm doing this because I like it. It's not an obligation, so I'm okay with it. So yeah, so those are my thoughts on my goals this year, and just what I was able to achieve or not. I was able to keep like my momentum with French going, and I'm happy with the little like advances that I was able to make. It was a year of trial and errors, but I do feel like I know more about how I learn and how I can improve my language learning. So yeah, like if you have goals and you haven't reached all of them, don't feel discouraged. Like I said, like it's okay to adapt things and change things as they go. So yeah, hopefully you keep that motivation up. And yeah, if you liked the video and if you want more videos about language learning, you can like the video. That'll be really nice. And subscribe to the channel. And yeah, and stick around for more videos like this or videos about reading. So yeah, that's it guys. Thank you so much for watching this video, and hope to see you in the next year, and hope to see you soon. Bye.